Results may vary.
CertaPro painters know how important your home is to you. I know how good a job they do because CertaPro painters did our house. WTMJ's John Mercure here. It was professional, it was easy, it was quick, and it was efficient. And so affordable. It's CertaPro painters. They get the job done right. Even those hard-to-reach places, they will knock out of the ballpark. Free estimates, reliable communication, professional painting, all at the right price. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters. Choose the team we went with. CertaPro painters.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
One more time.
Wrapping up Wisconsin's midday news on WTMJ. Greg and Jessica out, Kristen and Brian in, and breaking news, Kristen and Brian in together moving forward.
Officially.
I love that. This is the show.
I'm very excited, to say the least. That's probably one of the greatest understatements of my life. But they're letting me in during the day, which is weird.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing, quite frankly, I'm uncomfortable seeing all these people. I like to come in at night when nobody's here. I can root through people's I could just wander around unencumbered. But yeah, now it's exciting. We get to build something new, just like you guys are doing, and be part of a change here at WTMJ. So I'm really happy.
And it's got to be really exciting for you too, Kristen, because you've got your person, as I've been saying.
Got my person.
It's nice to know.
Yeah, and it's, I tweeted this morning. I was like, how does it go? The fact, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Far as, it's doing a show alone is hard, right? And so getting to have his experience, his humor, his curiosity, I think really rounds out what we want this show to be. And like I said, we met a month ago, and it felt pretty quickly that we had been friends for a very long time. So the fact that we're starting here is a pretty high floor.
Awesome. How do you kick things off today?
We actually have a really big show today.
It's gonna be rough.
Dr. Kristen Lyerly announced this morning that she is going to be the first Democratic candidate in the 8th Congressional District, and so she's joining us live. So she's going to join to talk why she's running, what she thinks her path to victory is in a pretty heavily Republican-leaning district. And then right after that, Attorney General Josh Kaul is coming into the studio. And so we're going to talk about the Office for School Safety that just got funded through till next legislative session, and the opioid settlement. There's a lot of things going on with the DOJ. So he'll be here in person. So pretty big political first hour.
Right. And then I'm just going to make puppet sounds the rest of the show.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Well, we'll be entertained.
Can you give us one before we leave?
No, it's a tease.
Gotta stay
It's a tease, Jessica. You got to wait.
All right, Spanning the State begins following the news, which is next here on WTMJ.
There are surgeons lining up to be the one to do your joint replacement. But my advice? Exhaust all your options and put off joint replacement as long as you can. Make it your very last resort, because life after joint replacement isn't always what it's cracked up to be. As high as 30% of patients who have undergone joint replacement surgery report unsatisfactory results. And the cost, even with insurance, can be extraordinary. At Rejuvenex, we'll help ease your pain and improve your mobility with FDA-approved pharmacological treatments that precisely target where your pain lives. And by easing your pain and inflammation, we'll help you live a better life. And because we're in network with most major insurance plans, your out-of-pocket expense could be very affordable. Or nothing at all. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
I wish I could get this stupid jar open.
Jars can be tough, am I right?
Who are you? And how'd you get in my kitchen?
It's me, Flo, and I'm here to grant your wish of easily switching to Progressive and helping you get a discount that honors the time spent with your previous insurer.
Great, but what does that have to do with getting this jar open?
Nothing.
So you can't open this?
Oh, I just do insurance. Jars I leave to the professionals.
Sign up for Progressive and opt into more savings. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 1 o'clock, it's 37 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee. A rain-snow mix today, a low of 33 overnight. From the WTMJ Breaking News Room, I'm Greg Matzik. A preliminary hearing for the boyfriend of missing Elijah Vu's mother has just concluded in Manitowoc County Court. Detective Michael Herman testifying that Jesse Vang shared with him the daily protocol for while Vu was under his supervision, including how often the child's diapers were changed.
Mr. Vang advised that he changed the child's diaper at least one time per day.
And through your course of employment and law enforcement over 30 years, based upon your experience, typically do children need to be changed as far as diapers more than once a day?
Yes.
Vang, along with Vu's mother, Katrina Bauer, have both been charged with child neglect, but are still not charged in Vu's disappearance. Vang's arraignment is scheduled for April 16th. Vu has been missing since February 20th. Reaction continues to grow in a narrow victory for a $252 million Milwaukee Public Schools referendum. Greater Milwaukee Committee President Joel Brennan tells Wisconsin's Midday News while the organization campaigned against the referendum, they will support the will of the people.
The community has made the decision to invest more local resources into the public schools, and we're going to be right alongside them. I'm going to hope that the business and civic community is going to be alongside MPS in trying to make sure that we have better outcomes.
MPS tells WTMJ community engagement sessions detailing plans for the money will happen later this year. President Biden is on call today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It'll be the first since 7 aid workers were killed by Israel airstrikes in Gaza.
The White House says President Biden emphasized to Prime Minister Netanyahu that strikes on humanitarian workers and the overall humanitarian situation in Gaza are unacceptable. According to a readout, the president made clear the need for Israel to announce and implement a series of, quote, specific, concrete, and measurable steps to address civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and the safety of aid workers. The White House says the president made clear U.S. policy with respect to Gaza will be determined by its assessment of Israel's immediate action on those steps. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The U.S. Small Business Administration announcing aid to businesses in the area affected by last week's bridge collapse in Baltimore. Mayor Brandon Scott says that Baltimore's port is integral to the area. They're looking for solutions for small businesses.
We're talking about businesses mainly really small and single proprietor businesses that depend on the port. And the question that they have is they want to know how we can help them, how we can help them through this time where they simply don't have business.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore will meet with the Maryland congressional delegation on Tuesday of next week at the Capitol to discuss plans for an emergency aid package to support the response for the bridge disaster. And rollout of the new fare collection system for the Milwaukee County Transit System's Connect One Bus Rapid Transit has been delayed for more than a week. MCTS tells WTMJ weather conditions have prevented the installation of fare validators at BRT stations ahead of an anticipated April 8th start date. The fare rollout is now scheduled for April 15th. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow currently up 54 points at 39,181. S&P 500 up 22 points at 5233. And the NASDAQ up 121 points this afternoon at 16,399. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Check out annexwealth.com. Click on the Get Started button today. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. Aria, nestled on the second floor of St. Kate, is an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. Delighting in its offering of artisanal American cuisine, the restaurant transcends tradition and leans into the realm of playful and inventive flavors. Come and experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
St. Vincent de Paul, Milwaukee has expanded into our new 76th and Bradley Road location, where thrifters will find hundreds of bargains on everything, from clothing to furniture, electronics, home goods, and more. Our inventory is always changing, and new deals pop up every day. We're accepting donations too at our convenient drive-through donation area. Help us help others. St. Vincent de Paul at 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee is now open.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. It's a day off for the Brewers. They welcome in the Mariners for a 3-game weekend series beginning Friday night. Milwaukee 4-1 to begin the season. And the Bucks own a 1.5-game lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers for the second position in the Eastern Conference playoff race. 6 games remain on the Bucks' regular season schedule. Time for a look at your roads and a WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Wet pavement, but pretty standard travel times across the system today. Notable exception here, 43 southbound Brown Deer to downtown. That'll run you 14, normally an 11-minute ride. Otherwise, the wet pavement not slowing too much down. 894 westbound Mitchell to Hale, a brief 2-minute delay. You got to tap on the brakes there. There is a car pulled off to the side of the road that appears to be out of harm's way, but be mindful of the situation as you're driving through.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
A rain-snow mix eventually coming to an end as we are cool and breezy the rest of the day with a low of 33 overnight. Clouds on the decrease tomorrow with a high of 43. Mostly sunny with a high of 50 on Saturday. 46 if you're closer to the lake. Right now in Madison, it's 34 degrees. Green Bay, 34 and snowy. Waukesha, it's 32. 35 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Signing Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
That's right. Not just a single host, dual, plural hosts with an S. I am Kristen Bry, and he is my permanent official co-host, Brian Noonan.
Did
you just get emotional?
Yeah, I mean, Thank you. That's my entire family came out today for this. No, I am a little emotional. It's very exciting. You mentioned it when we were doing Crosstalk. We only met a few weeks ago, and I came in the first day just figuring I was filling in, and it went well, and you and I clicked, and then it was a couple more, and then a couple more, and I just want to thank. I know you and Rhea really went to bat for me and pushed, so I am happy to be here. The thing that excites me the most, because I've been doing this a long time here.
You've been doing this a lot longer than I have.
And I love to be back working with a partner. I love to be working with a partner who we're all three of us, because Rhea's part of the team. The three of us are on the same page. We're building something from scratch that's very exciting. I love the mission of the show to just talk about Wisconsin stories and things that impact the entire state, whether, and then things that are just unique to one place. So we're going to do all of that. And working with you is going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun.
So I am, thank you for the opportunity. Thanks to the bosses for finally really make the decision, for the love of God. But it's it's great to be here, and we got a lot of work to do.
We do have a lot of work to do.
But what do they say? If you love your work, or if you love your job, it's never work, which is hogwash. It's still work.
It's still work.
It's still a lot of work. But
even when I feel like it's actually more work, because when you're passionate about it, you actually care and you never turn it off. That's been my experience of I'm never not thinking about work, unfortunately.
I've had a couple jobs where I didn't care, and it probably showed in my effort. But that will not be here. We've got today, coming off the heels of the announcement. We're coming out of the gates.
Stacked show.
We're coming out of the gates.
You said that you don't necessarily like a lot of attention on you, so we purposefully stacked the show so we don't have to keep talking about the fact that you're officially here.
Well, the nice thing is, if people have been listening to the station, they know who I am. I've been hosting nights for a long time. I filled in on pretty much everywhere on the schedule, so it's just weird to be here during the day, like I said, but I'll get used to it.
You will get used to it. All right. Well, when we come back, the first Democratic candidate in Wisconsin's 8th Congressional District has announced her candidacy this morning. Dr. Kristen Lyerly will join us live to discuss her decision to run. When we come back, stay with us. This is Spanning the State.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
I always enjoy having a podium. Like if you're giving a speech, you'll say, you want a podium? Who passes on a podium?
See the world from his perspective on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Have you ever been asked a question that when they asked it, you're like, that's kind of a dumb one?
Every day at 7:50.
Yeah, Wildy, pretty much. Jason Wildy, 9 to 12, pretty much every morning. Yeah.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers. Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Start your weekend tonight at the Fox and Hound Supper Club with a free dinner. Voted the best supper club in the area and most romantic restaurant. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I know because I'm a regular at the Fox and Hounds. It's fantastic. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. The Fox and Hounds is the most affordable and unique dining destination in the state. Tucked into the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest, the setting is just breathtaking. Order your favorite seafood, steak, pasta, a big fresh salad, steak and lobster, the ribs, any of it. Your second dinner is free. Desserts and the huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free, and I love that chocolate cake. Relax with a hand-muddled old-fashioned, 20 bourbons to choose from, 100 fine wines in one of their 8 elegant dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. A spring drive is beautiful in Wisconsin. Weekends might be too busy for some. Enjoy a free dinner tonight. Tables are open. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Injuries happen, but you don't have to play in pain or stay on the sidelines. Whether it's your kids dealing with a sports injury, college athletes, or the rest of us weekend warriors, the experts at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin will quickly diagnose your problem, lay out a treatment plan that works for you, and get you back in the game. They fixed my knee. My mother-in-law is back on the dance floor with a new hip. These are the experts you can trust. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry, here with Brian Noonan, permanent official co-host. And yes,
I'm not going to get tired of hearing that.
All right. And earlier this morning, the first Democratic candidate in Wisconsin's 8th Congressional District announced her candidacy to replace Representative Mike Gallagher, and she joins us live now. Welcome, Dr. Kristen Lyerly.
Hello, my friend. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Oh, girl, I am so good. I wish you probably actually did feel the enthusiasm all the way down in Milwaukee because Green Bay is on fire today. We are so excited.
So the announcement was at Hinterland?
Yep, it was at Hinterland in the shadow of Lambeau Field, and actually Michelle Tressler, who is the co-owner with her husband of Hinterland, is my treasurer. So she is bringing the voice of small business and really this like legacy family approach from the Green Bay community. We've got buy-in on this campaign from populations of people that you would never expect to be interested in a Democrat running for Congress in this district. It is thrilling.
So I guess let's start with the obvious question of why run for this seat and why run now?
Well, this seat, first of all, is being vacated by Mike Gallagher, who has been considered a moderate congressman, but he's being pushed out. He's actually being squeezed out by his own party. The party leadership in northeastern Wisconsin is going very MAGA, very far to the right. And it's just an untenable situation for people who consider themselves conservatives or just like standard Republicans. And that's our opening. So for somebody like me, who was born in this district, I grew up in Kaukauna. My whole family has been in this district for 6 generations. So I look at this place where all of my friends are. I still keep in touch with my high school friends, my neighbors. I listen to what they're saying, and they don't like the direction that things are going. They want representation that actually takes into account what their needs are, what their values are, and that's what we're going to give them.
So, Dr. Larley, you had floated the idea a while ago that you were thinking about running for this seat. When Gallagher decided to vacate it, did that make your decision easier, or had you decided you were going to run anyway, whether he stayed or not?
It definitely made the decision easier. But I think it's important to back up and look at what's happened up here in northeastern Wisconsin over the past 4 years. We had COVID, and I ran for assembly back at that time in 2020, knowing that our districts were grossly gerrymandered. There was no hope up here back then, and I lost by 4 points. But it was never about the seat. It was always about how can I be effective as a physician and effective as a mom and effective as a community leader here. So I got involved in the Fair Maps movement. I helped Governor Evers get reelected. We helped put Janet Protasewicz on the bench. And then once we saw that we were going to get new maps, we started building this deep bench of potential candidates who saw an opening, who knew that there was hope. And now, last cycle, we had a third of our seats go completely unchallenged. There wasn't even a Democrat on the ballot up here for the Assembly and the Senate seats. This cycle, every single seat is going to be challenged, and not just by somebody who's putting their name on the ballot, but by somebody who's prepared, somebody who is enthusiastic, and somebody who is ready to make that kind of positive change that Wisconsinites want to see. I've been part of that movement. I've been working with those candidates, and it's really just been a matter of where do I fit? Do I run for a Senate seat? Is that the right place for me? Clearly, with Mike Gallagher deciding not to run, when this path opened up, this is the place that I belong.
Well, as you mentioned, there are new maps for the legislative, for both the Assembly and the state Senate. There is not new maps for Congress. And this is a seat that had no Democratic challenger in 2022. He ran unopposed. And so when you look at what has shifted, because it's not the lines of the congressional district, what makes you think there is a pathway to victory for Democrats in this district that's leaned Republican for so long?
The lines haven't changed, but everything else has. So Mike Gallagher was beloved in this district. We're not red in this district. We're not blue in this district. We are green and gold. And if you know anything about Wisconsin politics and how voters perform, northeastern Wisconsin voters vote according to what their gut tells them, not according to party. And people really liked Mike Gallagher. With Mike Gallagher not running and with the party going so far to the right, it makes people uncomfortable. They don't like the division. People in this district like unity. They like working together. We have our disagreements, but anybody who comes to Green Bay knows we are friendly. We like each other. We build community. We don't tear it down. So the Republicans are losing the interest of their base, and that's our opportunity. It's my opportunity. Like I said, I grew up in Kaukauna, and I voted for Republicans. I grew up in a Republican household. I'm a Catholic. All of those things that so many of the people in this district are, I am. But once I started paying attention and understanding what was happening, it was very clear to me that Democrats represented what I wanted to see in the world, and people's eyes are opening in this district. That's our path.
What are the biggest issues that your constituents in the 8th District are going to be looking to you to address as you start your campaign?
Hey, there are so many issues, but for me in particular, as an OBGYN doctor who is deeply committed to taking care of moms and babies and families, reproductive health and freedom are huge in this district. And a lot of people don't think that that's going to play well because we are such a Catholic district, but the truth is Catholic people use birth control at the same rate as all other people, and Catholic people get abortions at the same rate as other people. So the Catholic stigma in this environment is not going to be a barrier. That's just one piece of it. There are so many other things. As a physician, as a healthcare provider, we often think of our personal health being associated with like the medications that we take or what is my blood pressure. But think about all the other things that contribute to your health that lawmakers have power over. They have power over whether you even get access to health insurance. They have power over whether you can afford housing or healthy food or have a place where you can get out and exercise. All of those things are things that people are concerned about, and all of those things are things that I can help make positive change with on a federal level.
And that is one of the questions I had, Dr. Lyerly, because you've made a big impact as far as reproductive rights in the wake of the 1849 abortion ban. You're literally the plaintiff on the court case that is going to Wisconsin Supreme Court. And when we see from our vantage point in Wisconsin, sometimes the chaos and the dysfunction of Congress and how things don't always get done, why are you convinced that you can be more effective as a congressman or congresswoman than in the role you've been playing as a doctor in Wisconsin?
That's a question I've been asking myself for a long time, because it was never about serving in a seat. It was always about where can I be effective, and that advocacy work is effective. And I'm plugged in with many of the referendums that are happening across the country. I know the advocates and the people who are outspoken, the movers and the shakers. We have a strong network. We've been watching those referendums. You know, every red state has a referendum, and people are lining up, check all across the country, because there are many advocates at all levels who are making this happen. For me, I can continue to do that advocacy work, and I love it. But in this district, for someone who was born here, who knows these people, I can keep doing the advocacy work, but I can take it to a whole other level. And that's my role right now.
Dr. Lyerly, since you had your announcement today at a brewery, I would be remiss if I did not ask your favorite style of beer as you begin your campaign.
I'm a big juicy IPA kind of gal, but I always, if I go to any brewery, my question is like, what kind of beer are you famous for? Because if there's something there that other people really love, I want to try it. Or if there's a really fun name for a beer, then I want to try that one too.
All right, Dr. Kristen Lyerly, the first Democratic candidate in Wisconsin's 8th Congressional District. Congratulations on your announcement, and good luck campaigning.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me today.
Thanks for joining us.
News Time 123. This is Spanning the State.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. At Creative Planning, our advisors will build a financial plan that's custom tailored for you. It will include your investments, insurance, estate plan, taxes, and other personalized elements. Let Creative Planning show you a richer way to wealth. Visit creativeplanning.com. That's creativeplanning.com.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendall Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Got an old boat, a new boat in between. Kendall Marine, upholstery and parts, hard to find things. Kendall Marine. Cruise to Kendor Marine, we've got everything you need but the water. Everything you need but the water. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine, we've got everything you need but the water. Like a boat-loving kid in a candy store. Kendor Marine. If you have a question, we have the expertise at Kendor Marine. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine, we've got everything you need but the water.
Easy to find at 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin or at kendormarine.com.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, John Mercure here with my friend Joe Shutman, the owner of Sidex Window Siding and Baths, who tells me it's not so much about the product, it's about the customers.
At the end of the day, this is a people business.
Sidex did my bathroom and transformed it by taking out a bathtub and putting in a gorgeous walk-in shower.
We got to make people happy at the end of the day, and that only works by getting it done right.
Joe took over the business when his dad passed away. And carrying on his legacy is what it's all about.
Nothing's more important to me.
It's Sidex, S-I-D-E-X, like excellence. Check out SidexRemodel.com.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you outdoors because we get you. When you're ready to get out and prep your yard for spring, we get you the right products at the right prices. Right now, Rewards members get a free $15 gift card with a $100 purchase of Scott's products. Save $10 on select 20-pound bags of estate grass seed, $59.99. 15% off assorted Longfield spring bulbs. And all Livingston vegetable and flower seeds, 25% off MSRP. We get you outdoors because we get you at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I am Brian Noonan. And get used to it.
Get used to it. He's not going anywhere.
No, we're not. I'm not planning on it. And I know you're not going anywhere, so.
No.
All right, we're good. We're here. I like having candidates, and we've been discussing this, and then it came up on the text line. Somebody texted in, hey, are you going to have the Republican candidates on as well?
And I would absolutely love to.
100%.
And we're planning to reach out.
Yes.
And, trying to figure out how our show can balance talking to candidates versus Political Power Hour and what Steve does, especially with his podcast, Decision 2024.
And the news shows, Vince and Eric and everybody else throughout the day, they all talk to him. I think what we've talked about is we want both sides on here. We want to let you decide. We'll ask questions, but we don't have an agenda for the show. If whoever is running, if it's a Democrat or Republican, we're going to ask you questions. They're going to talk to you, the listener, and then you're going to make the decision. We can't influence how you're going to vote, but if we give you the information, then you can do it.
I always wanted to do a segment, as I've multiple creative ideas I've had over the years for content ideas, of taking, well, it's not really, originally, it's not from Hamilton. Originally, it was what people said about George W. Bush, which is like, I feel like I could have a beer with him. Exactly. And then there's the line in Hamilton that goes, you can have a beer with him. And I always wanted to do that as a segment of sitting down with Wisconsin politicians, like over a beer. And
There's that huge beer hall right here in the 3rd Street Market.
Should we just make that a new segment?
Yes, we're going to make it
2024, Spanning the State.
Come have a beer. Yeah, we can have a beer with them. I could have a beer with them. We could have a beer with them. And they
Birth
come.
live on the show right now, a new segment idea for the year.
All right, I hope all the MCs are listening, and they're running out to the 3rd Street Market Hall now to sign up the beer area. I forget what it's called. They have a lot of great beer. And that's really the best way to talk to a politician.
Over a beer?
Over a beer, because then if they start waxing on too long, you just go get another pint and everything's fine.
All right. Well, as we look ahead into the next half hour, Attorney General Josh Kaul is going to be here. So this is a big day. Yeah, it was not planned to have both of these interviews back to back, but Attorney General Josh Kaul is going to be here. And the first reason I reached out to him was last week, signed into law, was funding to keep the Office of School Safety and Speak Up and Speak Out hotline funded through next year.
Right.
And so it's a passion project for him as far as keeping our kids safe, what this hotline, the impact it has had, and how many calls they've gotten over the last couple, I think since 2018 is when it started. And so he's going to be joining us to talk about what the Office of School Safety is and also what the hotline is. But then, since we have him, and we have him in person, we're going to talk about that abortion case. We're going to talk about the opioid settlement. We're going to talk about why he decided to join onto a federal case that is suing a cancer foundation. So all of that when we come back. Brian Noonan, how's your first day going so far?
So far, so good.
All right. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After the deaths of 7 aid workers in Gaza due to Israeli airstrikes, President Biden, in a call with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, says the airstrikes were unacceptable along with the hunger situation in Gaza. The White House readout says the president demanded Israel take concrete steps to protect civilians or risk a change in U.S. policy toward Israel. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Brussels says the president also called for an end in fighting.
He underscored as well that an immediate ceasefire is essential to stabilize and improve the humanitarian situation and protect innocent civilians, and he urged Prime Minister Netanyahu to empower his negotiators to conclude a deal without delay to bring the hostages home.
In Idaho, a hearing today for Idaho College murder suspect Brian Kohberger. Defense attorneys are requesting a change of venue, alleging the jury pool is biased. And more snow in store for Maine and Vermont on top of several feet of snow in the latest spring storm. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Our preliminary hearing for the boyfriend of missing Elijah Vu's mother has just concluded in Manitowoc County Court. Detective Michael Herman testifying that Jesse Vang would change Vu's diapers just once per day while under his care. His arraignment is scheduled for April 16th. Rollout of the new fare collection system for the Milwaukee County Transit System's Connect One bus rapid transit has been delayed for more than a week. MCTS tells WTMJ weather conditions have prevented the installation of fare validators at BRT stations ahead of an anticipated April 8th start date. The fare rollout is now scheduled for April 15th. And an overflow alert from the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewage District has allowed to expire. At this hour, storage levels in the MMSD Deep Tunnel are at about 78% capacity, while the Jones Island Reclamation Facility is at roughly 84%. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. About a half hour ago, all the indices were in the green. Now, all in the red. The Dow currently down 265 points at 38,861. The S&P 500 down about 21 points at 5189. The Nasdaq down about 39 points at 16,238. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Check out annexwealth.com. Click on the Get Started button today. Time for a look at your roads. A Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Typical delays here, 43 southbound from Brown Deer to downtown. It'll run you 14. Still a little deal here westbound, 894 Mitchell to the Hale. Normally about a 6-minute ride. It'll run you 8 this afternoon. Otherwise, wet pavement, but standard travel times across the system. Your WTMJ Storm Team forecast calls for rain and snow, a mix of it, to end later tonight with a low of 33. Decreasing clouds on Friday, a peak of the sun expected with a high of 43. Sunny skies and 50. Your high inland on Saturday, 46 if you're closer to the lake. 34 degrees in Madison, 34 in Green Bay, 32 in Waukesha, and 35 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Beautify your entertainment space with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. Take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Stay and play in Lake Geneva, the Midwest's premier golf destination. With 10 challenging courses for all abilities and skill levels, breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Enjoy an all-inclusive golf getaway with luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. For course information and more, go to visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for legendary golf.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Do you have achy joints like a bad knee or maybe an elbow that barks at you and you want to get help, but the idea of surgery or steroids makes you cringe? Well, there is another way. QC Kinetics. It's the future of medicine. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup. Dr. Scheinkup's a pioneer in this field. 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, and he wants to get you relief with the needle, not a knife. QC Kinetics. They've got 2 locations, one in Greenfield, another in Mequon. Call today to find out how they can help you. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-3474. Get your free consultation from QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and this is the show from now on.
This is the show from now on. And unfortunately, Attorney General Josh Kaul was supposed to be here in person. He is running a little bit behind, so we will have him a little later in the show. But as someone on the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620,
yes,
asked, what's going on with Nights?
Oh, that's a good question. So tonight I will be on. I will be hosting Nights until April 15th. But as you know, with the Brewers on the station, Nights gets preempted a lot for sports. I don't know who's going to be coming after me on Nights. I'm sure it'll be somebody who's very talented. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We'll have to. It'll be all by comparison. But no. So tonight I'll talk about it a little more on Nights. I know baseball with the Brewers. There's only one Nights show next week. So basically I have 2 more WTMJ at night, and I'm going to. I'll be honest. I'm as excited as I am about being here. I am going to miss the Nights a little bit. There's a little more freedom. As I said, in the building, there's nobody here. We get to goof around a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun. I've got to work with a lot of great producers, all who were taken from me within weeks when they were good and brought into the daytime. So you could thank a lot of the producers or the hosts can thank me for breaking in their producers and then sending them on their way into to bigger, better things. So it's going to be a little bit bittersweet, but I have a feeling that some of the things next year this show will cover. March Mammal Madness. Don't worry. I know it's been.
We talked about it somewhat on this show.
The scientists are getting behind it and retweeting, and and we have a winner. I'll reveal the winner of the whole tournament tonight after 7. So it has been something we've been following.
So you have double the content to be generating between now and the 15th. As far as bringing stuff for our show.
Yeah,
and then how are you deciding what comes onto our show and what you're leaving for Nights?
I keep the best for Nights up until today. Now that the announcement's been made, really with Nights, I'll be having my dogs. I'll interview them and have them howl, and we'll just do all kinds of craziness during the night for the final 2 shows. Maybe there'll be a best of. That's funny, but that's it. So it's again until the 15th. I am still the host of WTMJ at night, as well as being the co-host here on Spanning the State, and we plan on spanning the state.
We certainly do. And one of the things that we're going to do next when we come back is foreign exchange students. Have you ever hosted a foreign exchange student? We would love to hear from you, 855-616-1620, because SATUSA, the national program that hosts foreign exchange students, is looking for families in Wisconsin to host some students next year. We talked to some of the program coordinators about the requirements, what it takes. And we also talked to a current student from Brazil.
I would like to talk to some students, too, if anybody's out there, because do you remember the Simpsons episode where Bart was an exchange student in France?
Vaguely.
Yeah, he was not treated well. So I'd like to see if that's the norm or if that was an exception to the rule.
All right, so when we come back, we will talk about Satusa and what it takes to host a foreign exchange student. This is Spanning the State.
Each day, there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely. And you feel better when you can. But you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back. But it's always short-lived. And all the while in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Ready to tackle that honey-do list? WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets. Spring cleaning time. My friends Katie and Dan at Inspired Closets want to help you calm the chaos. Inspired Closets will transform your closets or laundry room, your pantry, any space in your house. They come out for a free visit and use their 3D software to tailor a space specific to you. Right now, get 10% off or 18 months free financing. Contact them today for more details. Tell them Vinny sent you. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was time for us. Our house was 20 plus years old, and the garage doors were getting dated. They were dinged up, and they were really hurting the value and the look of our house. That's why we called J.D. Griffiths, a local company. They've been at it in Milwaukee for more than 70 years, providing premier garage doors and building detached garages. We've got our new doors now, and they pop. I still got neighbors talking to me about it. Now, J.D. Griffiths does have an exclusive offer right now for you, the WTMJ listener. With any purchase of a new garage door, you can save $100 on your garage door opener. Just call 414-362-7222 and mention me, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead, or fill out the form at jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ to schedule your free at-home estimate and claim your deal. That number again, 414-362-7222. J.D. Griffiths.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
And I'm Brian Noonan. And I had never studied abroad. I was never an exchange student. Were you?
I was not an exchange student. But my grandmother and my grandparents hosted an exchange student back in the, maybe the 90s, maybe the 80s or 90s, who, Cassie, she was Australian. Oh. And I think to this day, my Aunt Becky is still very good friends with her. They stood up in each other's weddings. And I remember being a very small child, and it was like, it was foreign exchange student Cassie.
That's pretty cool.
Who was living with Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah, I only know foreign exchange students from movies, and usually those are teen comedies. So I'm guessing that is not an accurate depiction of the experience of either hosting or being an exchange student.
But currently, if you are an empty nester or you're looking to extend your family, or even if you're a single person, it sounds like, you can sign up to host a foreign exchange student. And we got to talk to Denise Hubbard, who is a Satusa coordinator, and Jill Ferguson, who's Satusa regional director for Southern Wisconsin, about some of the, who makes a good candidate for hosting a student.
Well, we are looking for anyone and everyone. It can be single adults, single parents, married couples, as Kristen said, empty nesters. And what we're looking for is someone who just wants to share their lifestyle and the Wisconsin experience with an exchange student from 15 to 18 years old for a single academic semester or a full academic year.
And then, that all sounds good. But what do I have to, if I want to host a student, what do I have to have for them to be comfortable at my place?
Denise, answer that as well.
A dresser or a closet where the student can place their belongings, a place to study, provide meals when the student is present in their home, provide transportation for school activities when other transportation, bus or authorized transportation is not available, and pass a criminal background check. Other than that, the student comes with their own insurance and their own spending money. They provide their own cell phone and school supplies. So, basically, we're just looking for people who want to expand their family and share the love they have of the United States and the state of Wisconsin.
That sounds simple enough.
Could you pass the background check?
I've had to pass it. Surprisingly, yes, I had to do it for teaching. So I have had my fingerprints run many times. So far I'm clean, but now.
So one of the questions I had was, how do students get placed? Because I would think growing up in France or Italy or Japan, maybe they've heard of the Green Bay Packers, but would they choose Waukesha, Wisconsin, or, any of the other places that you can get, because you get placed anywhere.
Sure.
But it sounds like it's actually the other way around, that students necessarily don't get their first choice or any choice at all.
We let the host families handpick their students. So, we have currently about 288 students available nationally. And of course, it's kind of a first come, first serve when selecting from the pool for students that may suit you or match your interests as a family. So if people are interested, we encourage them to apply now for this coming school year so that they can select students that they're really comfortable with.
Oh, that's very triggering. Doesn't it sound like waiting to get picked for a softball team in high school where all the students are lined up and the family's going, oh, I want them, I want them, I want them. Suddenly you're the last guy and you're from, Istanbul and nobody's picking you and you're like, I want to go to America. Sorry. Speaking of that, we did get to talk to Yulia, who is a 17-year-old exchange student. She is living in Wisconsin from Brazil, which seems diametrically opposed, but we asked her how she was finding her time here in Wisconsin.
I really like here. It's really different from Brazil.
How, Julia? How is it different? What's school like? What are you doing? What have you found that you liked?
Oh my God, this winter, I never saw snow in my whole life. When it snowed and it's that cold, I was just shocked. Yeah, like here, you change class is not a teacher, and then have a lot of activities like the homecoming week, and like in Brazil, we don't have that at all. So I got to know that Chase Street in Madison, and I really like that because I have a lot of stars, and I don't know, I just really like that.
I was also very disappointed when we talked to her. I said, have you tried a cheese curd yet? And she has not. How is that not one of the first things you do?
Yeah, I would think the host family would be required to, when she comes in, have a little buffet with brats and cheese curds and a fish fry, all the real Wisconsin foods.
And so Jill Ferguson, who we also talked to, is not only the Southern Wisconsin Regional Director for Satusa, but she's also hosting Julia right now. And this is her third student. So we asked her why she would recommend anyone sign up to do this.
So I think the reason that we keep doing it is because we appreciate learning culture, and we appreciate learning the differences of other parts of the world that we never would learn from a textbook or never would learn from a Facebook video. I mean, you're learning firsthand what life is like. We had an Italian student last year and a French student the year before, and just the difference between those two and Brazil culture is huge. And then not to mention the lifelong connection that now we're going to have with Julia. She came into our home as a stranger, and she's leaving as another kid in our family. So I can't say enough amazing things about the connection, about the culture, and I strongly urge everyone that can to experience exchange.
And so we thought we'd ask some of our teammates and see if we have anyone in-house who has hosted some students, and we actually do. So when we come back, we're going to hear their stories of what their experience was having a student in their home, what the lasting effect has been on their family. But if we've sparked your interest, you can go to cetusa.org. So it's CETUSA.org to begin the application process. But this is they're currently looking for students for the 2024-2025 school year. So you still have lots of time. But like Denise said, the sooner you sign up, the sooner you get your pick of the, students.
You don't want to have to pick the last student remaining. Not that there's anything wrong with them. And if you want to share your stories, the WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. I'll let you throw it.
Oh, there we go. All right, when we come back, our teammates will talk about their experiences hosting foreign exchange students.
All of the drama, all of the heart-pounding anticipation, all of the dancing?
It's good! It's good! It's good!
Keep it here on WTMJ for all of your March Hoops craziness during every sports update on Wisconsin's morning and afternoon news. Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Don't miss a single moment of this.
At the buzzer, got it! Are you kidding me?
All tourney long on WTMJ.
The sooner you address your joint pain, the better. You really don't want your pain to become chronic, to a point when surgery may become your only option. Address your joint pain issues early and calm down that inflammation and increase your mobility. Get the joints moving again and the blood circulating. That can be very beneficial. Plus, why not just feel better sooner? By coming to Rejuvenex, at the very least we can alleviate your pain, so you can feel and move better to help you live a better quality of life. Don't you deserve at least that? Multi-joint treatments at Rejuvenex can cost as little as, well, nothing. That's because we are in network with almost all major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. So you really have nothing to lose, except a very good chance of living with a lot less pain. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is hiring positive, upbeat bartenders. You'll make great cash. New expo and food runners are also valued. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today. Start next week. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, clicked on the blue button. One of our senior loan consultants, Brad, sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and then upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. They made a couple offers without success, and then Brad told them about AccuNet's new property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval included that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with a local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win and save money too. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and we were just talking about Setosa and hosting or being a foreign exchange student, and you had the brilliant idea to find out if anybody on our team had hosted exchange students, and what do you know, they have.
They certainly have. So joining us now is Shane Blackman, Director of Partner Relationships at Good Karma Brands, and a very familiar voice, John McCure.
Thanks for having us. This is fun.
This is super fun. So Shane, let's start with you. So how many times have you hosted more than once?
Just once.
And where was the student from?
Mara was from Portugal.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what caused you guys to sign up in the first place?
I think it really stemmed from my wife having a foreign exchange student when she was in high school. And we've been able to travel as a family to Norway, go to their wedding, become friends with them.
Wow.
And with today's technology, you're on Snapchat with them and you're seeing what they're doing every day so you can continue to communicate.
And John, go ahead. And John, where was your student from?
Rome. Miriam from Rome, our Italian daughter, our beautiful Italian daughter, 10 years ago, and we still see her almost every year.
All right. Now, we heard in the interview that the families get to pick. And I made the joke that it's like getting picked in high school. Was that your experiences? Do they? How does that work? Do you just look at a website and go,
Yes, we were really? AFS. Were you a different organization?
AFS, and you hear a voice and they answer questions. There's no pictures or anything, but
okay.
And there's a website, what their hobbies are and what they like, and I'll tell you a really quick story about that. So Miriam came here and we had a wonderful year. We love her. She's like our daughter. And at the very end of the year, after being here for 11 months. She said, I always do her accent, but I won't right now. She said, you know what? When I came to Wisconsin, I knew nothing about Wisconsin, and I was hoping I would go to Los Angeles or New York or Miami. And she said, I didn't know what Wisconsin was, and I was really scared and disappointed. I'm from Rome, and I was going to be living where cows live.
And
she had no
John,
say.
I don't do the accent because when I do, I sound like Borat.
Do it for sure then.
Yeah, really.
Well, we were at the Thunder Trio at the Green Bay Packer game, and she came out and she had finished the game and the planes had flown over, and I said, Mara, how did you enjoy it? And she said, I do like.
Oh, see, that's so nice.
But what was that like as far as their Wisconsin experience, and how much they were surprised by, how much they embraced? Like I made the joke about cheese curds, but what was unique about your hosting experience and showing them Wisconsin?
They loved it, and we showed them everything. We also went to games, but we viewed it as they were having a year in America. So we traveled as a family a lot that year. We took a cruise. We went to California, did California. We did Florida. We went to Niagara Falls. So we took them a lot of places so they could see America, and it ended up that she loved Wisconsin as much as any place that we took her.
Same thing for us. I mean, I heard the last segment. We did do cheese curds.
Nice.
Very good.
Right away. But we did. We traveled around the United States, and Mata really wanted to see things that she had seen in movies and that were America. Wow. We went to Las Vegas and we went to the Hoover Dam. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah. We did Yellow School Bus, the prom, things that were just truly American, just amazed her and made her very happy. Yellow school buses were crazy. She went berserk.
What is that?
Really?
Yeah, ice cream truck. It's just small things.
So she couldn't believe, Miriam couldn't believe that we eat our food all on the plate at the same time. In Rome, they have salad, and then they have the pasta course, and then they have bread, and then they have... So she would get freaked out when we would dish up our dinner and the food was touching each other. Or if there was a casserole, forget it. What is that? You're putting noodles and tomatoes and meat all together. So it's learning for us, too.
What were the biggest benefits and the biggest challenges of bringing somebody into your home?
Benefit was for our kids. We had twin girls who were juniors in high school, and that's why we did it. We wanted our kids to have this cool experience. And so for them, the coolest part was they learned what another culture was like, and they got another sister. And they got to learn as much as Miriam learned, even though she was here from another country.
We did it for our children as well. We had one still in the home as a junior, able to drive to and from school. But I became a girl dad for the first time. I didn't know what it was like to have a girl, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I got to go to Ulta Beauty. I'd never been to Ulta Beauty.
Did you go on the yellow school bus to Ulta?
No. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing, and we now have a new family, and we're going to go see her family in Portugal this summer, and they're amazing, and we talk to them all the time, and we're on social with them all the time, and get to have that experience, and we have another family for life, which is insanely
That's amazing. We're going to see Miriam this October, so we see her almost every year, too, and it's like we have another member of the family.
So 10 out of 10 recommend?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
100 out of 10.
All right.
Perfect.
Sure. That is awesome. Well, John McCure, Shane Blackman, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
All right. News is next.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, boaters!
At Kendor Marine, we have everything you could want, think of, or wish for your boat. We're committed to making sure you always have a place to fulfill every boating need that you have. And if you ask around, you'll find out our prices always beat the other guys. This is Dave Dorrell from Kendor Marine. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
This is Dave Dorrell from Kendor Marine. And hey, boaters love shopping here. How do I know? Well, most times it's because they tell me, Dave, I love shopping here. But other times it's because they tell you. If you need a reason to come here, just check out our online reviews. They tell the whole story. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
David Nason, host of the Fix It Show, here with my friend Chris Mancuso, owner of Accurate Basement Repair. Chris, what are some signs of basement problems that need to be addressed?
Hey, David, that's a great question. I would say wall cracks, leaning walls, dark or maybe some discolored stains across the walls. Those are really important things to look at.
As a home inspector, I see this often. Don't wait to call the experts I recommend at Accurate Basement Repair today for your free assessment. They're not just good, they're accurate.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
With rampant inflation affecting so many families and businesses, this will save you money. WTMJ's John Mercure here every Thursday at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. When you buy one pizza, you get one free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. There's no limit. Coaches, bring in your soccer, baseball, softball, tennis, track team for free pizza. Your players will also love that world-class game room. It's super affordable, team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your dedicated employees and clients. They'll really appreciate you, and your second pizza is free. Order now, pick up your pizza shortly, or dine in. No cooking, no cleaning. Take a couple home for your family. Wherever you live, it's worth the drive for your free pizza today at the Mine Chef in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. A reminder, the Mine Chef just lowered their Friday fish fry to $4.99. That's crazy. $4.99. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Chef. Visit minechefrestaurant.com.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2:02 and 39 degrees. Tonight, slight chance for a rain-snow mix, a low of 33. I'm John Mercure from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. A preliminary hearing for the boyfriend of missing Elijah Vu's mother has just concluded in Manitowoc County Court. Detective Michael Herman testifying that Jesse Vang shared with him the daily protocol for while Vu was under his supervision, including how often the child's diapers were changed.
Mr. Vang advised that he changed the child's diaper at least one time per day.
And through your course of employment in law enforcement over 30 years, based upon your experience, typically do children need to be changed as far as diapers more than once a day?
Yes.
Vang, along with Vu's mother, Katrina Bauer, have both been charged with child neglect, but are still not charged in Vu's disappearance. Vang's arraignment is scheduled for April 16th. Vu has now been missing since February 20th. It's not just the staying the Republican National Convention needs help with, it's also the going.
We want to make sure that this is a great experience, not only for the people that are coming into town, but also those that live here.
Moving tens of thousands of people around's no small task, and the RNC is looking for help wherever they can. The convention putting out an RFP for roughly 400 buses, which will be used to transport delegates and other convention goers from all parts of the state into downtown Milwaukee. RNC Committee on Arrangements Chair Ann Hathaway.
South to Racine, north to Sheboygan, and over to Madison.
The RNC set to be held in Milwaukee this coming July. Mike Spalding, WTMJ News.
The U.S. Small Business Administration announcing aid to businesses in the area affected by last week's bridge collapse in Baltimore. Mayor Brandon Scott says that Baltimore's port is vital to the area and they're looking for solutions for small businesses.
We're talking about businesses mainly really small and single proprietor businesses that depend on the port. And the question that they have is they want to know how we can help them, how we can help them through this time where they simply don't have business.
The latest on the Baltimore port situation coming up during Wisconsin's afternoon news. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Stocks are sliding. The S&P is off 24 points. The Dow is down 291. The NASDAQ is off 49 points. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Go to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button today. Up next, sports, traffic, and weather. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:05.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. It's 2024 and an election year. The politicians are out there promising things they won't deliver. One thing is certain. Taxes are what pays for those promises. The IRS collects those taxes, and man, can they be brutal. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. We help you file back tax returns, get liens released, set up payment plans, represent you in audits, and get penalties reduced or eliminated. Some recent clients we helped include getting a $40,000 tax bill reduced by $32,000, filing a 2020 tax return to get a $7,000 refund, and negotiating a payment plan for $250 a month on a $30,000 tax bill. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. The hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Book special hotel packages with room rates starting as low as $129 a night. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
The Symmetry Bedroom Collection from Penny Mustard is kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
Well, it does have everything. A bookcase headboard with built-in lighting.
A gorgeous two-tone stain option.
Underbed storage.
And secret compartments, too.
Yeah, the only thing missing is a corkscrew.
Darn, I knew I forgot something.
The Symmetry Bedroom with queen bookcase headboard, underbed storage, 8-drawer dresser, landscape mirror, and 3-drawer nightstand, starting at $65.50 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call. That's all Sports Desk. An off day for the 4-1 Brewers, who welcome in the Seattle Mariners for a 3-game weekend set beginning Friday night. And with 6 games left on the regular season schedule, the Bucks own a 1.5-game lead over the Cavaliers for second place in the Eastern Conference playoff race. Let's check those roads. Pretty quiet out there. A couple of minor delays in the usual spots. I-43 southbound Brown Deer into downtown. That's a 3-minute delay. And 894 westbound the Mitchell into the Hale interchange. That's going to take you an extra 2 minutes.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top-quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Time for the 5-day forecast. Tonight, slight chance for rain snow mix to continue, a low of 33 degrees. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds, increasing sunshine, a high of 43. Saturday, mostly sunny, a high of 50 inland, cooler along the lake. Sunday and Monday, both days a chance for showers, high of 46 on Sunday, 55 on Monday. Right now in Madison, cloudy and 39 degrees. In Green Bay, cloudy 39 degrees. In Waukesha, mostly cloudy 37. And here in Milwaukee, it is 39 degrees. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Welcome back. Brian
Noonan,
you're still here.
I'm still here. The big voice guy said my name, so it must be official. And I'm going to stop saying how happy I am to be here because people are going to think I'm drunk. But I am very excited. You know that. I'm excited that we get to talk to people all over the state and people who affect the state.
Absolutely. He made it.
All over. He did make it.
Attorney General Josh Call here in person. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me, and thank you for accommodating my schedule today.
You know, this is what live radio is all about.
Yes.
We were both have taken plenty of improv classes. That's why we're good at radio. Live radio, we can be flexible.
And we've also been to enough events that no event either starts on time or ends on time. It doesn't matter how good the organizer is, how great the organization is that the event is for. They're never on time. So thank you for coming in.
Yeah, it's good to be here, and I'll just take a quick moment to mention the event I came from, which is Vin Baker, the former Milwaukee Buck, is now an assistant coach for the Bucks, and he's launched Vin Baker Recovery Center. We were at the official ribbon cutting ceremony today. One of my big priorities when I was a candidate for AG the first time was to hold pharmaceutical companies and other big companies accountable for their role in the opioid epidemic. I've heard from people all over the state about the impact that this epidemic has had, in some cases on them, and in a lot of cases on family members, a child, a loved one, and it's really taken a devastating toll. So we've worked to hold pharmaceutical companies accountable. We've now recovered, between our work and the work of counties and cities, about $750 million, and they're going to lots of great causes. This is one of the causes that's being supported, and the more we can do to turn the corner on this, the better.
So this week, the new plan of how to spend the settlement money was presented to the Joint Finance Committee. And I know the health department has ideas as far as prevention versus rehab. And so what data do we have as far as the money we've already received versus the money that's still coming, of what's been the most effective way to spend it?
Yeah, so first, this money is coming in over the course of many years. This is now the third year that they're proposing funding for. The first year was a little over $30 million. The second year was about $8 million, just because of the way the payments are structured. This year is again up; it's $36 million. And a lot of what our Department of Health Services does is works on public health information. They look at data from around the country. They look at data in the state of Wisconsin. But there was also a lot of listening to people who are on the front lines of the fight against this epidemic. We held several roundtables around the state. One of them was actually at the Vin Baker Recovery Center a few months ago. And we heard from people who are working in local public health, who are providing services. We heard from some people who have lived experience, and we heard a lot of things from people. One was the benefit of having peer support, talking to people who've gone through the same kind of challenges and what's worked from that for them. We heard about the need for services that support treatment. Medicaid reimburses you for treatment, but it doesn't reimburse a lot of the things that help make treatment successful, like room and board, like transportation. So residential housing treatment programs has been a focus. There's also some proposed funds for family support. And then one thing we consistently heard was prevention. We heard that from people around the state, because it's great to be working to address the problems we've got now. That's a vitally important need. But we also don't want to continue fighting this battle for decades to come. And so investing in prevention programs is another thing we heard a lot about, and we're hoping we'll see the Joint Finance Committee approve.
What kind of feedback have you gotten for the money that's already been invested?
It's been positive. There is no question that there is a greater need than we have resources for. And look, I mentioned $750 million. That's a lot of money. It's not enough. And we know that. And so we want to make sure that all the dollars that are coming to the state are used as efficiently as possible. But more money helps in some of these areas where there are gaps, and whether it's folks who want to get into treatment, but they can't get housing, or other challenges where these funds can be used to fill those gaps, it's making a difference.
Our guest is Attorney General Josh Call. We have a lot to talk about. We have the school's Office of School Safety. We have the abortion case. So we're going to take a break and come back, and he will still be here. This is Spanning the State.
your daily appointment for all things Brewers. From every angle, this is Brewers 360.
Look, this is not put the ball in the hands of Giannis at the end of the game. In baseball, it's got to be up and down the lineup.
Every day at 7:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
This is the show right now, and the competition's pretty stiff.
Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Holiday Automotive.
I love where your head is right there, so we can definitely come up with some fun ideas for sure.
Oh, be careful, man. Now, you just
you opened
up Pandora's box here.
I'll say it again. Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And what that means is wherever we go, we make it better for those in need of our services and the great people we have working with us. Our reputation matters. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. We believe that operating with integrity will set us apart from our competitors, and that this attracts people to us that share these same values. I say this because I want you to know when you work with Semper Fi, character counts. It's why you can count on the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty that now includes free annual inspections. And it's why we always have one project manager per job, which is absolutely not the industry standard. When you're paying for a brand new roof to go on what's likely the biggest investment you have, you want it done right, and you want to be able to count on the people doing it. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Hey 620 WTMJ fans, Gary Ellison here for my good friends over at Best Electric Services. They're family owned and operated and have been serving you for over 50 years. No job is too big or too small. Whether it's making panel upgrades to your home, tuning up your generator, installing electric vehicle charging, or residential service calls, Best Electric provides quality services at fair prices. They are experienced and licensed electrical contractors ready to get to work. Connect with the best. Best Electric Service. Find out more at bestelect.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry with my host, Brian Noonan, and we are talking to Attorney General Josh Kaul. And one of the stories I think kind of flew under the radar is last month, the state Senate approved funding to continue the Office of School Safety and Speak Up and Speak Out hotline. And then last week, Governor Evers signed that bill into law. But I think a lot of people don't even know what the Office of School Safety is or what that hotline is. And so I know this is a passion project for you. So can you explain what it is and what impact it's had so far?
Yeah, well, first let me just say where we are on school safety, because things have really changed over time. I graduated high school from Goodrich High School, the public high school in Fond du Lac, in 1999. And that was the year when the Columbine shooting happened. And we were in shock about that event. And it made major national news, and it should have. It was a horrifying event. And sadly, in now the about 25 years since then, what was then shocking to everybody has become something that now just happens from time to time. These horrific shootings in public places, sometimes in schools, and the landscape that kids, and including my two boys who are in fourth and first grade, are facing in schools is just fundamentally different than the ones that a lot of us grew up in. And making sure that school is a place where kids feel safe, where parents feel safe sending their kids, is something that is critically important, not just to me personally or to me as the Attorney General, but to families across the state. And following the Parkland tragedy, the state funded a $100 million grant program to help harden schools, to put in place physical security upgrades, and to do some other things. That was before I became Attorney General, but a lot of those funds went to really good uses, things like having a single point of entry in schools, making glass thicker, and it also went to some training for teachers. But in the meantime, what we have done over the last several years is also develop some innovative programs, because the reality is that we can't just keep our kids safe by making our schools fortresses. There's more that has to go into that. And there are a lot of things that we know work. There are some evidence-based solutions.
Such as?
Well, one of them is having a confidential reporting system. And that's the Speak Up, Speak Out program. We launched a 24/7 tip line, and we get contacts that range from concerns about bullying or vaping to concerns about planned school attacks. We can then get that information to schools. They also do critical incident response. They help provide behavioral threat assessment to help teachers know when to be concerned. That program has now been in place for several years, but it has been reliant on federal funding largely to keep it open. This funding is going to keep us going through the next school year and through the next state budget. And it's my hope that we will see long-term funding for the program then, because it's helping to make our schools safer.
I hear you talk about this, and it all makes perfect sense, which we all know in politics isn't the way things always work. The funding was rejected not too long ago. Now, thankfully, it's been funded. What was the reasoning behind the denial?
We had a lot of conversations with legislators in the Joint Finance Committee. We had requested long-term funding in the last state budget. And I think there was a reluctance to fund programs that had previously been federally funded. We were coming out of the COVID relief dollars. And we tried to make the point that this was a different kind of federal funding. We had gotten a grant to support a lot of what it was doing. But, there are a lot of issues that come before legislators. And I think the more that people have heard about this program, the more support there's been. So it's pretty rare to see the legislature take up a budget type issue outside of the budget process. But we were able to work with legislators. We got a bipartisan group together, and we got them to find a solution to work with us for the short term. Now, keeping this program going in the long term is going to require legislators to make an investment. It's not a huge one by any means, but it's an investment in our kids' safety. And to me, if we can't invest in this area with a program that has been shown to be working, where are we going to invest? So I'm hopeful we'll see that in the next budget.
Well, and not to be too blunt about it, but has there been potential attacks that have been stopped because of this hotline?
You never know what would have happened without an intervention, but what we do know is that we have gotten dozens of contacts about potential planned school attacks, and there have been responses that have happened in schools where we've either reached out to school officials or to law enforcement and gotten a response. The other thing, and this is in the long term what I think makes a big difference, is we know that school climate makes a big difference. And if students are going to a school where they feel like they can share concerns with teachers, where they can talk to people, where they feel safe, that makes a big difference in preventing these kind of things from happening in the future. And we've now gotten over 10,000 contacts to that tip line in just, it's not even been 3 years yet. So the kids are reaching out. They're using this.
So kids reach out. It's not just parents and teachers.
Absolutely. And it's used for a number of different things. But I'll give you one example. One kid reached out and said, I've got a friend and I'm concerned that they're going to harm themselves. So we got a response. A check happened and somebody was able to check in on that student. A few months later, that same student followed up themselves and said, I'm reaching out. I feel like I need help. And I know that this works because when my friend called to help me get help, I got the assistance I needed. That's just one of many examples of how it can make a difference.
And I think the anonymity of it also adds to it, because you're right, things have changed since you were in school. I was in school before you were. Nobody ever used to rat out anybody. You didn't want to tell, because then you had to go in. It was a whole thing. But when you can feel that I can report this, I can help somebody, but I don't have, like, teenagers don't want to be identified. They want to help, but there's no embarrassment. There's no stigma when you call the tip line.
That's what the data has shown, is that if you've got a confidential option, it makes a difference. That's what our experience has shown. And to be clear, this is not meant to replace people reaching out to a parent or a teacher or a coach. If students want to do that, that's great. We encourage it. But it's an additional option that can help keep kids safe.
We're talking to Attorney General Josh Kaul. When we come back, there's an update on the abortion lawsuit that is still not at the Supreme Court, but on its way. And also, we're suing a foundation? I'm interested in that. All right, stay with us. This is Spanning the State.
Hot dog, get your hot dogs here. Hot and fresh hot dogs.
Hot diggity dog, it's baseball season. Wisconsin's Afternoon News has partnered up with Vienna Beef to bring you Brewers Ticket Tuesday.
Tune in every Tuesday during the 3 o'clock hour for your chance to win a pair of tickets for an upcoming Tuesday home game for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Nothing says summer like a hot dog and baseball, and we've got both on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
On the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find, with an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burkhart.
Since 1955, Geist Garage Doors has been the trusted authority in Wisconsin. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Give my friends at Geist a call. Doors and openers for every budget are available, and they'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. Check out GeistDoors.com or call 262-784-4250. Or do what I did. Check out their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors, openers, and their custom design room. Wherever you are in southeast Wisconsin, don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't think twice. Call Geist. Hey, boaters!
We have the go-to marine store. And it's not just because we have all the boat parts and supplies you'll ever need, including oddball parts you thought you'd never be able to find. And it's also because we're cheaper than the other guys, too. So why shop anywhere else? This is Dave Dorrell from Kendor Marine. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
This is Dave Dorrell from Kendor Marine. When you get here, you might be overwhelmed when you see so much stuff. But don't be, because our staff knows just where to find what you need. They're knowledgeable, friendly, and willing to help so that you can find everything you need to keep your boat in tip-top shape. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. We are talking to Attorney General Josh Kaul, and we only have a couple minutes with you, so I want to cut right to it. So earlier in the show, we talked to Dr. Kristen Lyerly about her candidacy for the 8th Congressional District, but she also was the plaintiff in the Kaul versus Urmansky case. And so what's the status with reproductive rights and access to abortion in Wisconsin currently?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're in a much better place than we were until just a few months ago in Wisconsin. After Roe was overturned, access to abortion basically became unavailable in the state of Wisconsin. And so 4 days after that decision, we announced a lawsuit that was seeking to stop this 1849 law we've all heard about now from being enforced in cases involving abortions. That case worked through the process in Dane County Circuit Court, and in the process of hearing motions in the case, we got a sort of intermediate ruling from the court that said that the court didn't interpret that 1849 law as applying to abortion. Once that happened, Planned Parenthood reopened services in a couple locations. And then in December, we got a final judgment from that court holding that that law does not apply to abortions, similar to what it had held earlier. And so after that, Planned Parenthood reopened its Sheboygan services as well. So we are now, in terms of where we are legally, essentially back to where we were prior to Roe being overturned, with one important caveat, which is this case isn't over. So the DA, who's one of the defendants in that case, requested that the state Supreme Court take the case up directly. We shared in that request because this is an issue that needs to be resolved by our state Supreme Court. We also requested that the court not just look at that issue about what that statute means, but also consider what the state constitution says, because I don't ever want to see Wisconsinites back in a place where we may again lose access without having our Constitution interpreted on this. I can't tell you how many times I've heard from doctors like Dr. Lyerly about the challenges they have faced post-Dobbs, that decision that overruled Roe.
All right, before we let you go, Attorney General, this is a lesson in reading more than just the headline. I see that you're suing a charity, a women's cancer charity, and I thought to myself, boy, the AG's office has given up all their heart. And yet, then I read the story, that's not really the case.
No, one of the important functions at the Department of Justice is holding people accountable for consumer fraud. We do consumer protection work. DATCAP does a lot of it, but in some of the significant cases, we get involved as well. And this is about protecting Wisconsinites' pocketbooks. We know people are feeling the pinch of inflation, so this is especially important now. And when companies are making misrepresentations, they're making false statements, we work to hold them accountable. And in this case, we've got a sham charity that allegedly has directed 99% of the funds that it raised to stuff that has nothing to do with charitable purposes. So you've got folks who are making donations, they're giving charitably, something that we want to encourage, and rather than having that go where it should, these funds are being directed to profits for the owner and to vendors. So we took action. It's an example of the type of thing we do at DOJ to protect consumers.
And so this is us in 9 other states. So when you, as a state DOJ, is it because there was Wisconsinites who donated, and that is the impetus to jump on board and join the lawsuit?
That's right. There are sometimes we work on cases that just involve Wisconsin as a plaintiff, or where we're bringing an enforcement action. But in a lot of cases, companies operate or charities operate in multiple states, sometimes internationally even. So we work together with other states, like we're doing in this suit we brought against Apple recently, alleging antitrust violations, where we work with often a bipartisan group of AGs from around the country with a shared goal of protecting folks' pocketbooks.
What kind of charges are possible in these kind of cases for those of us who
are thinking about starting a nonprofit and then pocketing the money?
I have business ideas, Kristen, that's all.
First, let me just say, stick to your day job. I think that's the way to go.
All right, good advice.
When companies break the law, we have enforcement actions. Now, if it's misrepresentations, it's usually a civil enforcement action, and we seek recovery. Sometimes we seek court orders that might shut down a fraudulent business. And of course, if they're committing criminal fraud, then there are potential criminal penalties as well.
All right. Well, that is about the time we have with you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been very informative.
Very informative. Attorney General Josh Kaul, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, when we come back, the Midwest Gaming Classic is this weekend. And is there a more famous game from Wisconsin than
Dungeons and Dragons?
Are you a fan, Attorney General?
I didn't know it was from Wisconsin.
It is, Lake Geneva.
I thought you were going to say euchre.
Maybe. All right. That's next, along with ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Following the Israeli airstrikes that killed 7 humanitarian workers in Gaza, President Biden expressing his outrage to Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu during a phone call today, demanding Israel take concrete steps to protect civilian life and boost aid, or the U.S. policy toward Israel could change. White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby.
It's not just about the announcement of concrete steps and changes in their policies, but it's the execution of those announcements and those decisions and implementing them.
Netanyahu also facing pressure from the U.S. and from within his own country to finalize a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Spring storms looking more like winter in upper New England. Heavy snow continuing to fall for a second day in Vermont and Maine, leaving tens of thousands without power. And days after a major earthquake struck Taiwan, crews are still searching for people trapped in partially collapsed buildings. At least 10 are dead. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:31, a preliminary hearing for the boyfriend of missing Elijah Vu's mother has concluded in Manitowoc County Court. Detective Michael Herman testifying that Jesse Vang would only change Vu's diapers once per day while under his care. His arraignment is scheduled for April 16th. Rollout of the new fare collection system for the Milwaukee County Transit System's Connect One bus rapid transit has been delayed for 1 more week. MCTS tells WTMJ weather conditions have led to that. And an overflow alert from the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District has been allowed to expire. At this hour, storage levels in the MMSD Deep Tunnel are at 78% capacity, while the Jones Island Reclamation Facility is at 84% capacity. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the red. The S&P down 24. The Dow is off 291. The NASDAQ right now is off 49 points. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. All right, let's check those roads. Not too bad out there. 2 little delays. I-43 southbound Brown Deer to downtown, the normal 3-minute delay because of the construction. And 894 westbound Mitchell to the Hale, that is a 2-minute delay. Your Storm Team 4 5-day forecast. Expect rain this afternoon, scattered showers tonight. Tomorrow's going to be messy, some rain in the morning, and then we could have some fog and cold. It's 39 degrees. Friday, mostly skies for most of the day. Saturday and Sunday, partly cloudy, highs in the 40s. It is currently in Madison, 39 degrees with gray skies. In Green Bay, 39. In Waukesha, cloudy and 37. In Milwaukee, it is 39 degrees. I'm John Mercure, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:33.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What makes Hasselus mattress different?
Aside from employee-free showrooms, free next-day delivery and haul-away, and way too low prices on Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and Serta Perfect Sleeper?
Yeah, besides that.
Well, Hasselus is locally owned.
You mean your franchise is locally owned?
We're not a franchise. Every showroom is owned and managed by the same family. So, when you shop at Hasselus, your money stays right here. And through Monday, our family wants to give you a $200 credit towards a new Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and Serta Perfect Sleeper just for shopping local.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Our 43 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393.
I like that.
Try and buy with no pushy sales guy.
I love that.
Free next day delivery too.
Thanks.
For what?
For being different.
Shop local and enjoy a $200 credit through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find a no-hassle, employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hasselus.com.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you outdoors because we get you. When you're ready to get out and prep your yard for spring, we get you the right products at the right prices. Right now, Rewards members get a free $15 gift card with a $100 purchase of Scotch products. $30 instant savings on a 21-inch Craftsman push mower powered by a Briggs & Stratton engine. Plus, shop new spring styles of Carhartt, Ariat, and Wrangler clothing or footwear. We get you outdoors because we get you at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
With rampant inflation affecting so many families and businesses, this will save you money. WTMJ's John Mercure here every Thursday at the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. When you buy one pizza, you get one free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. There's no limit. Coaches, bring in your soccer, baseball, softball, tennis, track team for free pizza. Your players will also love that world-class game room. It's super affordable. Team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your dedicated employees and clients. They'll really appreciate you, and your second pizza is free. Order now, pick up your pizza shortly, or dine in. No cooking, no cleaning. Take a couple home for your family. Wherever you live, it's worth the drive for your free pizza today at the Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. A reminder, the Mine Shaft just lowered their Friday fish fry to $4.99. That's crazy. $4.99. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft. Visit mineshaftrestaurant.com.
The Midwest Gaming Classic celebrates 23 years this weekend at the Baird Center, so April 5th to the 7th. And have you ever been, Brian?
I have not. I am not a gamer at all. I have a really good friend of mine who is very big into all these kind of board games. He goes to Gen Con in Indianapolis every year. He was a dungeon master. He leads games. I don't know anything. Like, to me, board games are from Mattel, and, you know, you're playing the game of life or Sorry or Yahtzee or something like
Clue.
that. Yeah, Clue. I've never been, and but man, the people who are into it are into it.
So my husband and I went last year.
Yeah.
And it is wild.
Yeah.
It's 3 floors. They take over the entire center, but they take over a lot of the Baird Center.
Yeah.
And it's games, it's consoles, it's gaming, like video gaming consoles from basically since the beginning. Like there's a museum exhibit basically of what's changed over the years with video games.
The big yellow Pong.
There's an entire room of just pinball machines. Even if you're not a gamer of any sort, whether it's a video game, board games, any of them, just seeing, it's so impressive seeing all of the passion. I always appreciate anyone who has a passion for what they do,
definitely.
even if I don't get it. But just the accumulation of so many different games in one place is a sight to be sold.
And
to
it's
be
not,
seen.
I'm like, I was under the misconception that it was all just video games. And that's not, like you mentioned, it's pinball, it's board games, it's all kinds of things.
Arcade game. I mean, there's like the big arcade machines, yeah.
It's people in role playing, they're dressed in costumes, and they're coming in, and they've got a battle axe, and they're trying to overthrow a government. It's crazy.
And so as we were knowing this was happening, I was like, I wonder what games... Like, what games have been created in Wisconsin? And I know the games that are popular in Wisconsin, as Attorney General Josh Calda said, euchre.
Euchre, sure.
And euchre, I think, does have its roots here. So I was looking that up, and it was brought over by German immigrants.
Okay.
And it's northern-ish of like Northern America, and at least I think when I was looking at it on the map, it was somewhere around the Great Lakes. And
Yes,
so I think
my wife's family is from Michigan, and they all play euchre.
Yeah, so that has roots here. I also figured cribbage might be, but turns out cribbage is from Europe from like the 1600s.
Okay.
It's old.
Have you played cribbage?
We play cribbage a lot.
I have to learn because my daughter is dating a guy and his whole family plays cribbage. And so we bought a cribbage board and all I saw were a bunch of pins and I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is
it? Yeah.
Okay.
My father beats me regularly. My husband beats me regularly too, but every once in a while you get a pretty good hand and you're like, gotcha.
All right. Yeah, that's my daughter's the same way. She never played and now she's like, oh, I finally won.
But arguably the most famous game that originated in Wisconsin that you may or may not know is Dungeons and Dragons.
I didn't know that until we were getting ready for the show. I don't know where I thought Dungeons and Dragons came from, but I
well, it's not a hallmark of the game, right? It's not like
Right,
so the game started. I mean, technically, it was like Lake Geneva-ish. I know very little about Dungeons and Dragons besides the low-hanging fruit jokes. Right? You're like, oh, this guy plays D&D, and the insinuations about what kind of person that might be.
I know probably not much more than you, other than I know there's dungeon masters. Those are the people who run the games.
Okay.
I know there's, you have your character and you can get powers and you could, but that's as far as I go. That's but the depth of my knowledge. So I really don't know anything either.
So we're going to learn a lot when we talk to our next guest. So we're going to be joined by Harold Johnson, who is an American game designer and editor, and one of the originators of Dungeons and Dragons, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. So join us when we come back. If you would like to learn more about Dungeons and Dragons, this is Spanning the State.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Pluto TV won't cost you a thing because everything is free. Just download the app, which, by the way, is free. Pluto TV, stream now, pay never.
Gene Miller here. Springtime. Better start thinking about those home improvement projects. Now's the time to call my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Update your home's curb appeal and build equity with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from brands like Pella, Anderson, Marvin, and more. Hometown can also customize your project. They're your local source for wood, vinyl, or fiberglass windows and doors. Stop into their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin to see the Hometown difference. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Come on, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to Supper Club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Spanning the state, I'm Brian Noonan.
I'm Kristen Bry.
And this weekend, if you are a gamer of any kind, whether it's board games, RPG games, video games, whatever you like to play, the Midwest Gaming Classic is back at the Baird Center April 5th through the 7th. And we are celebrating, and they are going to celebrate, the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons. It was created right here in Wisconsin. Harold Johnson is an American game designer. He is one of the originators, if not the only originator, of Dungeons and Dragons, and he is our guest right now. Harold, let's straighten it out. Are you the man or are you one of the men?
I'm one of the men. The game was originally created by Lake Geneva resident Gary Gygax and his co-designer Dave Arneson out of the Twin Cities. But I came along in 1979 and I helped develop the advanced Dungeons and Dragons rules, the D&D basic rules, D&D expert rules, companion, and second edition as well. And I have been on the playtest groups for third edition, 3.5, fourth edition. And right now I'm playing 5, but they're now into D&D Beyond.
So for those of us who've never played Dungeons and Dragons, how would you explain it to us?
Explain it like we're third graders, Harold.
Oh, like third graders. Okay, let's give you an example. Say you're walking down the street. It's a busy street. On the right side is a kickball field, and there's kids playing kickball, and the traffic is whirring past you on your left side. And as you walk along, a ball rolls across in front of you into the street, and a kid shouts, "I get it," and he runs towards the street. What do you do?
Wow, I hope I stop him, but part of me says I let him go.
Oh, you've got a wicked side. D&D is about imagining you're a hero for a moment, and I ask you questions as to what do you do, and you tell me what your character does. So that's the gist of the game. Now, it is a cooperative storytelling game. There is a narrator or dungeon master, as people know. This is the person who oversees the rules, creates the framework for the story, but he is not the only one who creates the story. All of the players are participating as heroes in the story, and they make decisions, kind of like a reader's choice book, where you come to a pivotal point and you say, do you open the door or do you run away?
Now,
so that's... Yeah.
How long? It sound. I know from friends of mine who play, some of these games can go on for a long time, right?
True. Dungeons and Dragons, which is a seventh type of game, all these older games like dice and card games and board games and strategic games, nobody could tell you who created those originally, but we do know who created Dungeons and Dragons. So we have games that were originally campaigns. You would play one adventure, and then, like a television show or a serial set of books, you could then have your heroes play in the next story and the next story. And like an arcade game, hence why we're there at Midwest Gaming Classic, you gain experience and you go up in levels. You get more options for actions. You can collect treasures. You can collect weapons and legend. You're building your legend.
Okay.
And so, as far as putting it in context of what the gaming world was like 50 years ago, when this first premiered, was it revolutionary? Was it immediately embraced, or is it something that's only caught on throughout the decades as like a slow burn?
Well, I was the director of games in the early 80s when it hit really big, but when it first came out, we were a mom and pop hobby business. And so you would find us at college campuses and college bookstores, because we would take it to a convention and show them our product, get people playing, and then they would take it home, show it to their friends. They would go to their colleges and so forth and so on. We also had the military embraced us because the original game, you didn't have a lot of accessories. You had 3 small books, graph paper, pencil, and some dice, and that was it. So you could go to Iraq, you could go to Taiwan, you could go any place and play the game. It was very portable.
That's amazing. Now, at the Midwest Gaming Classic this weekend, Harold, will they be hosting games? If D&D enthusiasts are there, will they be able to play against other people? Will you be around to answer questions and celebrate the 50th anniversary?
Oh, absolutely, Brian. I'm overseeing that. So, yes, we're going to do that. I have demos. So people who have not played before, I'll teach them the rules. It's really simple. There's no character generation. I have character cards pre-generated, and you just pick a picture you like and put it on your card, and that's your character. And then I set you up in a situation. But that's just the demo. In the hallway itself, we will have ongoing games with miniatures, beautiful boards. We will have not only our games, but you will see things like the Games Workshop's Warhammer, which is also a fantasy game. You will see card games as well. We have card games. We have board games. We have the whole gamut of games. And right now, we're specializing, not myself, but the industry, in $300 games.
Wow. All right. Now,
yeah, I can't imagine.
That is crazy. Harold, this kind of goes back to what Kristen asked before. If we're looking at the evolution of the gaming, there was this stereotype that people who played D&D and these other, it was mostly guys and they were kind of alone. Because I know a friend of mine, and you were involved with Gen Con for a long time, a friend of mine goes down to Gen Con every year. The demographics in all these kinds of games has changed drastically.
It has. When we started, it was written at a college level. I pioneered getting it down to a 6th grade reading level. We had an 95% male population marketplace, all nations though. But there were not a lot of girls that played in that time, not a lot of females. Nowadays, if you go to a game, you will find lots of women. I would say they are almost 30-40% of the population now. They are people who are involved in a love of fantasy, costuming, just the art. There's all sorts of different categories you can get involved with role-playing games. This fall, I'm sponsoring something in town in Lake Geneva called Dragon Days, and it's to look at all the aspects of Dungeons and Dragons and how it has changed the world. We published books, over 300 books. We became the #1 seller of fantasy books in the nation back in the 80s and 90s, and we still lead bestsellers. We do art. Games have changed. Electronic games originally were done by Pong, Space Invaders, Centipede. And then you got Zelda after Dungeons and Dragons arrived, and Myst, and just an evolution, Final Fantasy, an evolution of gaming to embrace adventure. And now, of course, there are online games, originally called MUDs, multi-user dungeons. One of them is made by Bethesda, Elder Scrolls. As a matter of fact, a lot of my designers work for them, so they're the ones cranking out the stories.
So, Harold, this might be an obvious question, but is the way you're talking about how you play the game, is the point to win, or is the point just to enjoy yourself as you're telling this story and experiencing it? I
think there is no win.
There is no win.
There is the I beat the boss, or I completed the quest. But yes, you can keep going. You are building a legend. You can play for as long as you want or as short a time. gives you a new perspective on life, because if you lose a character, that's okay. That's how history is written, and you can create a new character and try something different.
Well, Harold, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Unfortunately, we're up against the clock. Well, we'll have you back for the Dragons deal in Lake Geneva. But Harold Johnson is going to be at the Midwest Gaming Classic this weekend at the Baird Center, April 5 through the 7. He is, we learned, one of the men, even though, Harold, we'll still call you the man, who came up with Dungeons & Dragons. Harold, thanks for joining us today. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, thanks, Brian, Chris.
All right, we'll start wrapping things up after this. It's Spanning the State.
It's like playing baseball in the house.
Mom, Dad broke the window.
Without the risk of...
Again.
That. Every Thursday at 8:40, play virtual baseball on Wisconsin's Morning News. Step up to the virtual plate and test your mettle against the best.
Swing and a drive to right.
It's virtual baseball, presented by Signing Unlimited. Only played here on WTMJ.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared.